Hello everyone, my name is Cristian Cortez, and for my meetup I went to AI in medical imaging, Bay Vision, computer vision, DL, and AI in the Bay Area. My meetup was held October 2nd, Wednesday, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Quinlan Community Center, or Cupertino Room, in Cupertino, California. So for our presenters, we had Moshe Safran. He is the CEO of RSIP Vision and the MC for the night. And then we had two main presenters, Tully Morell, who is an AI researcher for Facebook, also known as FAIR. He is also an applied research scientist at FAIR. Then we had Ishan Adeli, who is a researcher in machine learning, computer vision, and computational neuroscience and medical image analysis at Stanford School of Medicine. So Tully Morell discussed accelerated MRI imaging through machine learning. He talked at length about how machine learning can be incorporated with MRI imaging, specifically how machine learning can improve the speed of MRI imaging, which would reduce patient exposure to harmful rays that are used in MRI imaging. So this acceleration works by taking multiple images using multiple coils. So he gave the example that his team were working with 15 coil MRI machines that can be used to then take parallel images of patients. He explained that there's an active acquisition cycle that can be broken down into 4 separate stages. So the MRI image is taken and then is sent to the network system, which then doctors can reconstruct the image of the MRI, which is then sent back to an MRI scanner, which essentially starts the process over again for the next patient. So Ishan Adeli, he talked about how confounders and variables can lead to misrepresentation of data, and he gave a little bit of an example of what a confounder is. He gave the example of age and race and ethnicity, and vices such as smoking and alcohol use. So he talked about how his team are working on different ways to visualize these confounders in data, explaining that traditional methods are not practical for machine learning. He also talked about training networks and the staff that use these networks to better exclude these confounders in their findings to produce cleaner and more usable data from MRI imaging. So who I met a man named Modi, who is just a general investor. He explained to me that he attends multiple meetups to find products that he might want to invest his time and money into. And when he had heard about RSIP and the work they do with MRI imaging, he thought that was just a good opportunity. So overall, I thought my meetup experience was very cool. I learned a lot about MRI imaging and about how machine learning can be applied to these fields. I also found it very interesting that Facebook had a lot of interest in this area, considering that our first presenter, Tully Morell, was a researcher for Facebook. So overall, I believe that I would attend similar events for other topics that might pertain more closely to my personal interests, and I can see how Meetup would be used as a prime networking tool. So for my club meeting, I went to IEEE on November 7th. We met in room North 120. So at this meeting, we discussed the Rising Star Conference. It's held in Las Vegas between January 3rd to the 5th, and Briefly, they explained how it's a very opportune chance for networking and to gain inspiration from other students. At this conference, there are multiple professions and different fields in computer science, so there's just a little bit for everyone to enjoy. We also discussed t-shirt sales and the presentation for the following week, which would be a Google employee speaker on cloud-based industries. So Stack Overflow, here is an example of one of the questions I used to help me in my programming language concepts class. I needed to find a way to build a larger string from smaller strings, and I was able to find help with that on Stack Overflow. Now, GitHub is a version control service that allows developers to work on projects together. It has different branches within a project that can be used to test different instances or stages of a larger project. And here's my GitHub account. So thank you, and that is my presentation.